There is a man on national television at a charity event he organised, caught on a hot mic saying, and I quote,
"Hate it. No, I hate it. Everybody knows that."
He then turns to a producer and says,
Tell them that's it. They can't film forever. Tell them they gotta wrap it.
You got it.
Don't tell me I got it. I'm giving you 5 minutes and then I'm gonna take care of it. If I come back down, it's gonna be ugly.
That man, Marc Daly, Kenya Moore's husband, at his own event. And somehow he's not even the worst husband on this list. Today we're counting down the housewives' husbands who made it painfully, awkwardly, sometimes hilariously obvious that they wanted absolutely nothing to do with Bravo cameras. Some of these men survived. Most of these marriages did not. Kelsey Grammer. Let's start with the man who was so checked out of his marriage, he basically used the entire Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as a breakup strategy. Kelsey Grammer, yes, Frasier himself, was married to Camille Grammer when RHOBH launched its first season in 2010. Now here's the thing, Kelsey didn't just dislike filming, he barely showed up at all. While Camille was in Beverly Hills filming the show, Kelsey was across the country in New York doing a Broadway show. And by doing a Broadway show, I mean also starting a relationship with a flight attendant named Kate Walsh. On the rare occasions Kelsey did appear on camera, it was painful. There's this scene where Camille flies to New York with her friends to surprise him and support him at his Broadway premiere. She's excited, she's dressed up, she brought the girls. And Kelsey greets her with all the warmth and enthusiasm of a man being served a parking ticket. He barely looks at her. The energy is arctic. The other housewives are watching this unfold and even they are uncomfortable. But here's the real kicker. After the divorce, Kelsey went on CNN and said, with a straight face, that the show was his parting gift to Camille.
The Real Housewives was my parting gift to her. Now, whether or not it worked out well for her doesn't matter. It was my way of saying, look, you always wanted to be famous. Here you go.
He even admitted he told her she could do Divorced Wives of Beverly Hills next season. The man wrote the ending before the show even started. He later told Anderson Cooper that he regretted letting the cameras film him at all. But by then, the damage was legendary. Camille walked away with a $30 million divorce settlement. So who really won? The man sulking in New York or the woman who turned his absence into a Bravo empire? I think we know. David Foster. Speaking of Beverly Hills, husbands who treated the show like an inconvenience. Let's talk about David Foster, music legend, 16-time Grammy winner, and apparently, a man who thought smiling on camera for his wife was beneath him. Yolanda Hadid, yes, Gigi and Bella's mum, joined RHOBH in season 3 while married to David. And look, on paper, these two had the dream life. A Malibu mansion with a glass refrigerator. David's impromptu piano concerts for dinner guests. Yolanda cooking him a roast chicken in lingerie. Yes, that happened. On television. For this man. But David's energy on camera was consistently cold. He'd sit at group dinners looking like he was mentally composing a symphony and couldn't be bothered with mortal conversation. He was described by viewers and critics alike as condescending and aloof.
You'll have to listen.
We are not singing, we're just listening.
You don't speak, you don't sing.
He'd talk about Yolanda like she was alternately a doll or his personal assistant. There's a scene where Yolanda is practically glowing about their relationship, talking about how she does everything to make his life perfect. Stays fit for him, takes care of his house, entertains his friends, and David's response is essentially a polite nod. The man gave her a nod. Grammy-winning emotional range right there. David later admitted he didn't like appearing on RHOBH, but went along with it because Yolanda wanted to do the show. Then things took a darker turn. Yolanda was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and as her health declined, David grew more distant. Eventually, he ended the marriage over the phone. In her memoir, Yolanda described his tone as so cold that shivers ran through her body. When he told her they needed to talk, he said, "I can't do this anymore." Over the phone. The optics of leaving your sick wife while she's battling a chronic illness were not great for David. He denied in his Netflix documentary that he left because she was ill. But viewers had already seen 3 seasons of evidence. The glass refrigerator was spotless. The marriage? Not so much. Marc Daly. Okay, if David Foster was quietly miserable on camera, Marc Daly was loudly miserable. And honestly, the Marc Daly saga might be the most dramatic, I hate being filmed meltdown in Housewives history. Let's set the stage. Kenya Moore, Miss USA, Queen of the Twirl, married Marc Daly in 2017. And immediately, Marc wanted nothing to do with RHOA cameras. This man was so allergic to filming that Kenya was actually fired after season 10 because Bravo couldn't get enough footage of her personal life. Marc simply would not participate. Kenya had to take a massive pay cut just to come back for season 12. And when she did, she brought Marc along. That was a mistake, because here's what the cameras captured. A man who looked like he'd rather be literally anywhere else on Earth. RHOA producers later admitted that filming the couple was definitely uncomfortable. They said Marc was in a weird mood every time cameras showed up. Not sometimes, every time. The producers said, "It was clear in our opinion that they just didn't get along." And then came the event, the Black Man Lab charity dinner. Marc organised it, Kenya did the actual work, securing catering, graphics, security, the seating chart. She even became his last-minute personal stylist, because this man gave her 3 days' notice that he needed a suit. 3 days. At the event itself, Marc didn't thank Kenya publicly for any of her contributions. Not a word. Cynthia Bailey noticed it and called it out in her confessional. Nene Leakes, Kenya's rival of all people, said she'd never once seen Marc and Kenya be affectionate with each other. "It's almost like it's an arrangement," Nene said. But the moment that lives in RHOA infamy, the hot mic. Someone asks Marc off camera if he's enjoying the ride that comes with being married to a TV star. And Marc says, on a microphone,
But are you enjoying the ride?
No, I hate it. No, I hate it. Everybody knows that.
Then he turns to a producer and starts threatening them.
Tell them that's it. They can't film forever. Tell them they gotta wrap it.
Got it.
Don't tell me I got it. I'm giving you 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna take care of it. If I come back down, it's gonna be ugly. So they're never gonna see me again after this event.
This episode was filmed one day before Kenya and Marc announced their separation. One day. Kenya later told her castmates that Marc was verbally abusive, withdrawn, and that she still didn't know all of his triggers after 3 years together. "You feel like you're crazy," she said. "You're in a union with someone that's supposed to be forever, and you don't know what this person is." After the split, Marc tried to get a court order to stop their daughter Brooklyn from appearing on the show. The man went from hating being on camera to trying to legally prevent cameras from existing near his family. That's commitment to avoidance. Todd Bradley. Now, if you thought Marc Daly's energy was bad, let me introduce you to Todd Bradley. This is the freshest example on our list, and honestly, it might be the most satisfying, because we got to watch this one unravel in real time. Todd is, or was, the husband of Bronwyn Newport on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Todd is a tech executive. He runs boardrooms, he fires people, he yells at people for a living. And when Bronwyn joined RHOSLC for season 5, Todd brought all of that CEO energy into the world of Bravo. The problem? You can't fire Andy Cohen. From the very first episode, viewers noticed Todd's discomfort. He wasn't just uninterested in filming, he was actively hostile toward the entire concept. During a couple's trip to Palm Springs, the cast got into an argument, as housewives do. Bronwyn and Lisa Barlow went at it. Normal Tuesday on Bravo. But Todd couldn't handle it. He started berating Bronwyn about not wanting to deal with the drama.
I know we've known Lisa and John for a long time, but for you to sit in a hot tub and scream back and forth with her is ridiculous.
You thought I was screaming?
He went directly to Lisa's husband, John Barlow, and gave him an ultimatum. Get Lisa to behave or leave. This man gave an ultimatum, at a reality show group trip, to another cast member's husband, like it was a board meeting. Bronwyn broke down in tears on camera after Todd scolded her. The scene was described as uncomfortable viewing, with Todd seemingly talking down to his wife in front of the other couples. He later admitted on Watch What Happens Live that he can appear to be too harsh. Appear to be. Sir, you were. But it got worse. During a group trip to Mexico, Bronwyn opened up to the women about Todd's past infidelity. Her daughter Gwen had caught Todd texting someone flirtatiously on his iPad. Todd was mortified that this information was now on national television. A fellow airplane passenger even caught him looking at photos of women on his phone and posted it to Twitter. Bronwyn then told castmate Whitney Rose that she'd kick Todd out and would consider an open marriage, if that's what he needed. Todd was reportedly furious that she was giving the other team their playbook. By season 6, Todd had had enough. He intentionally stepped back from filming, avoiding group scenes and all cast events entirely. But the damage was done. The couple announced their separation at the season 6 reunion. Bronwyn's rep said it was a mutual decision made with care and respect. But a source told reporters that Bronwyn was disgusted by what she's been seeing on TV regarding Todd's behaviour. The source added, "He's coming off badly. It's truly not shocking." Todd Bradley, the man who tried to run a reality show like a Fortune 500 company and ended up filing for divorce instead. Now I know what you're thinking. There can't be more husbands who hated this. Oh, there are. and the next few are even messier. But real quick, hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. Okay, back to the mess. Simon Guobadia. Now let me tell you about a man who didn't just hate being on camera. He went to war against the cameras, legal war. Simon Guobadia, Portia Williams' husband on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, took "I don't want to be filmed" to a level that even Marc Daly couldn't dream of. Here's the backstory. Simon and Portia had a controversial relationship from day one. He was still in the process of divorcing Portia's own RHOA co-star, Fallon Pena, when they started dating. The timeline had the other peaches whispering from the jump. They got married in November 2022, and just 15 months later, Portia filed for divorce. 1 week before she filed, Bravo announced she'd be returning to RHOA for season 16 after a 2-year break. The timing was poetic, and this is where Simon went full supervillain. The moment Portia announced her return to Bravo, Simon fired a cease-and-desist letter to the RHOA production company, demanding they stop filming at his $7 million mansion. Not a request, a legal demand. His position was clear. He bought the house with his money, he pays the bills, and no Bravo camera is stepping foot inside. But he didn't stop at the house. Simon then filed another cease and desist, this time over his Rolls-Royce. The $398,000 Rolls-Royce Ghost that he'd given Portia as an engagement gift. He didn't want that car on television either. He even posted on Instagram, "No more Africans, no more Rolls-Royces, #buy your own." Classy. Portia fought back hard. She filed an emergency court order, arguing that filming in her home was vital to her ability to sustain her income and employment. Her lawyers argued that Simon was intentionally trying to sabotage her career. They even offered a compromise. They'd only film in selected parts of the house and wouldn't show any of Simon's personal belongings on camera. Simon refused. So picture this. Portia's out here doing confessionals in parking lots while Simon is inside the mansion changing the garage codes and door locks. Her attorney called it a campaign of obstruction and harassment. Simon's attorney said there was no emergency and suggested Portia just film at a different property she owned. This dragged on for months. Simon also demanded to know exactly how much Bravo was paying Portia, calling it a multi-million-dollar deal, and even asked the court to make her answer whether she only married him for his money. He literally put that question in a legal filing. "Did you marry me for my net worth?" in writing to a judge. Finally, in November 2024, a judge ruled in Portia's favour and granted her the right to film in the home. By the end of season 16, Portia was doing a victory lap through the mansion with Bravo cameras rolling. The prenup was enforced, she got the house, $40,000 a month in spousal support, and Simon, who was also dealing with his own deportation case, was left regretting the whole thing. He told outlets he believed Portia took calculated steps to marry him only to divorce him for financial gain. Simon Guobadia didn't just dislike being on RHOA. He tried to use the legal system to physically remove the show from his life. And in the end, Portia still filmed. She still got paid, and she got his house. The camera won. Joe Giudice didn't just hate filming, he said he hated filming. On camera, while being filmed. The self-awareness was never there. Juicy Joe, as fans lovingly called him, was Teresa Giudice's husband on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And from the beginning, he treated the cameras like a personal inconvenience. He later straight up said, "I really did not want to be on the show. It was annoying to me to sit there and have people film what I'm doing." He complained that producers would film him doing things like taking out the garbage. The indignity. But Joe's most legendary moment came during a cast trip to Napa Valley. The group is at dinner. Everything's fine. Joe excuses himself from the table, claiming he needs to take a work call. He steps away from the cameras, smart. But he forgets one crucial detail. He's still wearing a microphone, not smart. On the mic, a woman's voice is heard saying, "Hi, baby," not a co-worker greeting. Then Teresa gets up to find her husband, and as she approaches, Joe mutters, on a live microphone,
"Hold on, here she comes, my bitch wife. She's such a But anyway.
Teresa later said she felt like she'd been kicked in the stomach when she saw the footage. She was humiliated. She confronted Joe and made him watch the clip back. He was so ashamed and embarrassed, she said. But she also said she couldn't defend him. Not this time. And the thing is, Joe's on-camera behaviour was a pattern, not a one-off. He was checked out, dismissive, and the rumours of infidelity followed him throughout the show's run. Combined with the federal fraud charges that eventually sent both Joe and Teresa to prison, and Joe's subsequent deportation to Italy, this was a marriage that the cameras didn't destroy so much as expose. They divorced in 2020, 20 years after their wedding. Joe hated being on camera, but the camera had his number the whole time. Harry Hamlin. Okay, now for the man who played the game differently. Harry Hamlin is the outlier on this list because he hated filming with every fibre of his being, and somehow made it work, for a while. When Lisa Rinna told Harry she was thinking about joining RHOBH, his response was immediate and unambiguous. If you do this show, I'll divorce you. Done. Meeting over. Lisa said she walked away and was done with the idea. But Harry had a change of heart after a day, reportedly after Lisa's friend Bethany Frankel convinced him from a branding perspective it would be good for their clothing line. So Harry agreed, but on his terms. He refused to show up the way producers wanted. He deliberately minimised his screen time. On the very first night of filming, production was at Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant Pump, filming Lisa Rinna for hours. Harry was supposed to fly in from Vancouver. He arrived hours late, and then he refused to sign his contract. But by that point, they'd already shot hours of great footage with Rinna, so they had to film Harry without a signed release. The man played chess while everyone else was playing checkers. On the show itself, Harry was there and not there. He'd pop up for a scene, quietly eat dinner, say something diplomatic, and vanish. He was the ghost of a husband. He told the Daily Beast that this was totally deliberate. His direct quote, "They were not going to hire Lisa if I didn't do it, and the husbands have the same obligations as the wives do. They want you to show up and be involved. I said I wasn't going to do that. So we concocted a way to get around it." And his famous line about the show, "Everybody who does that show gets divorced. It's a horrible, horrible thing to do that show." He kept his divorce lawyer on speed dial the entire time Lisa was on RHOBH. The irony. Harry and Lisa actually lasted through her entire RHOBH run. They beat the curse and forever. Matthew Kirschenheiter. Gina Kirschenheiter's husband never appeared on the Real Housewives of Orange County. Not because he didn't want to, well, actually, maybe that too, but because his employer refused to let him film. Gina thought the show would be something they'd navigate as a team, but Matthew couldn't participate, and he was already travelling for work constantly. The distance that already existed in their marriage just widened. "It probably did have more of a negative effect on our relationship and made things harder," Gina said. "I'm basically going on this venture, and he's not included and involved in it, and it creates even more distance." They split during her very first season. She barely got through the intro before the marriage was over. Eddie Jordan, Charis Jackson Jordan, helped cast the Real Housewives of Potomac using her own social circle. But when the casting director asked her to be on the show, her husband Eddie, a retired NBA star, predicted it would ruin them. He straight up threatened to divorce her. And what did Charis do? She joined the show anyway. Out of retaliation, her exact words. She did the show to get back at him for the threat. Naturally, it ended their marriage. When your husband says, "This will destroy us," and your response is, "Watch me," the divorce papers are already being drafted. Marissa Zanuck's husband. Marissa was just a friend of the Housewives on season 3. The most minor role you can have, and even that was too much for her husband. She admitted on the show that he didn't want her there, even in her small role. Their marriage issues became the only storyline she had. They divorced shortly after. The man couldn't even handle his wife being a guest star. Michael Weinstein. After Jules Weinstein's single season on the show, Michael filed for divorce and specifically blamed the show for ending their marriage. He didn't mince words. The show did it. Take it up with Bravo. The divorce itself then spiraled into something truly chaotic, involving cheating allegations, police calls, and years of court battles, all from one season. Bill Aden. Bill didn't threaten divorce over filming, but his on-camera behaviour told the story. He was immediately called out by viewers for his condescending attitude toward his wife, Jennifer. The man required Jennifer to ask his permission to go on a cast trip, which is literally her job on the show. It was controlling, it was old-fashioned, and it was all captured in high definition. Marc Daly's hot mic moment is one of the most replayed scenes in RHOA history. Todd Bradley's boardroom energy at a pool party became a meme. Joe Giudice hiding in the bushes from his wife while calling her names on a live mic. Iconic. These men tried to fight the camera, and the camera turned them into cautionary tales. But there is one more husband I haven't mentioned yet. One who's currently filming. One whose behaviour on camera has fans already predicting the next big Housewives divorce. And if the pattern holds, we're going to need a part 2 very, very soon.